Good morning and welcome to your Tuesday edition of Things You Might Have Heard. I am Jay Cleveland Payne and I'm going to bring to you 8 stories. Yesterday was Monday, so Monday for the weekend we gave you 10 stories. The rest of the week you get 8 stories, some of the top stories from the day prior that you told us were top stories. We'll go deeper into the vetting process in a bit, but essentially you tell us what stories to talk about. It's not just me going through a list of what are headlines. It is me going through a list of what you say are the top stories, most conversational stories. And yes, it's was a slowish news day until the end. We'll go into that. And yes, we are going to talk about Little Mermaid and a spoiler-free. Although the movie is like 40 years old, spoiler-free review of the movie coming up, plus a few other things going on. Now, if you want to be a part of the show, follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and it's definitely follow us at our website, see what's going on at thisisaconversationproject.com. Find out more details about what we do all the time. We produce something 6 days a week here for you in video form and audio form for you to get the best in conversational topics and conversate with us, which is not exactly the right participle, but it'll go that way. Right now, let's get into the headlines for today, which are for the day being Tuesday, May the 30th, 2023. We're almost into June. It's amazing. We're almost a half a year past of the year. And we are going to do our best to give you 8 stories. We'll give 8 stories. They're the best stories we think that were vetted by you, created by me for today. Let's start off with story number 1 for this morning. This is the breaking news that popped in the middle of the evening yesterday that became essentially the news of the day. Police in Hollywood Beach, Florida respond to reports of multiple people shot at Boardwalk. 9 people total were shot, as listed from the update we have here. 4 of them were minors. One of them was like a 1-year-old baby, and others were unstable in condition. Many folks are dealing with it. Happening about 6:41 p.m. Local time. Shots were fired during an altercation between 2 groups. Several victims were transported to Memorial Regional Hospital and Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital. And 1 baby, of course, is shot in the leg. Excuse me. Authorities closed off the roadway of the perimeter. This was essentially people on the beach on Memorial Day celebrating celebrating the holiday, doing what you do on Memorial Day, oddly enough, just hanging out on the beach. And this is people caught in the crossfire. More details on this story as they do more investigation, but looks like rival entities, if you will, got into an altercation, started shooting, and that's what happened. We will see how this plays out for the Hollywood police coming soon. Police in Hollywood Beach, Hollywood, Florida. Sad thing to break up the monotony of what was a fairly decent, cool, and just decent Memorial Day. We have many stories about many shootings over the weekend, but over the day, just last minute, that was just a tragedy. There's too many of them, and it's hard to explain how they're happening, but we should do something about that. Next story here, Disney's Little Mermaid. Yes, Disney's Little Mermaid swims to the top of the holiday box office. There you go. $95.5 million. This was a tally per Sunday. And so whatever it made over yesterday, Memorial Day, the day, we don't know. My family put in our, $800 for tickets and popcorn yesterday. Got to see it. Spoiler free, I will say that she does not turn to sea foam as a popular book did. I'm waiting for the version where she turns to sea foam. And so it basically played out a lot like the animated film from many, many years ago. I say it's somewhere between I didn't hate it and it was entertaining because it took a long time, I guess, to get into the position because it was presented as a brand new film and not something everybody knew about. I will say that I've got more enjoyment out of the Beauty and the Beast live action remake than this one, mostly because of the way they played it out. And they actually did a little more of the let's call it PC-ish of the movie, more making it more inclusive and sort of explain how Ariel, the Little Mermaid, could be of black pigment. It made perfect sense, but a lot of the play up to that was a lot of just nagging. Melissa McCarthy, a bit over the top. Gotta say it. I'm sorry. Next, go on to the next story here, and it is fire chief in Ohio. Wrong button there. Fire chief in Ohio says 1 person rescued overnight from building collapse in Davenport. This was the original posting from basically yesterday morning. About 8 people were actually rescued over the point of the day, and there's still some people who were missing and accounted for. City officials in Davenport, Iowa said that Monday the owner of the Davenport Hotel was served with order of the demolition because residents were not allowed back inside to remove their belongings. The building was so badly damaged, it was just unavoidable. We will see this one play out over the next couple of days because you have to have time for these things. Normally, these are the stories that become the headlines where people camp out, where you send folks like Lester Holt for a few days, and then you go to someone like Ali Velshi to do the extended coverage because there's a lot of work going on. This happened when the building collapsed in Florida about a year and a half or so ago. But we're going to see how this one plays out, where one building with such bad code has become a national story. This is something we're all picking up on right now. Let's move on to the next story. NBA opens investigation into referee over potential use of burner account. The NBA has opened an investigation, as I just stated, into veteran referee Eric Lewis over the potential use of a burner Twitter account that responded several times to messages that had been critical of him and other NBA officials. Lewis could face discipline from the league. Blair Cultive's account, that's the name on the account, sent recent messages as recently as May 25th claiming to belong to Lewis's older brother. Kevin Durant had a famous Twitter burner account that he used to kind of flame his both his enemies and some of his friends. This is not necessarily big time news, but it is kind of rude, for lack of a better term. So let's move on to the next story we have here. Something a bit more interesting, a bit more serious maybe. Russia issues arrest warrant for Lindsey Graham over Ukraine comments. So Russia doesn't need a burner account. They just flat out say, we're going to lock up Lindsey Graham next time he's in Russia. Maybe we'll extradite him. Maybe we'll get him out of someplace. Maybe we'll go to Bahamas and we'll kidnap him. Not sure how those things actually work. Russia indicts a lot of folks. They issue arrest warrants for a lot of people who say a lot of things about them, yet they never actually pick them up. They do pick up innocent people who happen to be in Russia and keep them for a long time, but that's how they work. The Interior Ministry issued this warrant on U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham following the comments related to the fighting in Ukraine. Senator is among more than 200 members of Congress banned last year from entering Russia. You would think so. Graham commented on Twitter that he would wear the arrest warrant issued by Putin's corrupt and immoral government as a badge of honor. He'd probably wear a prison outfit if they could find him as well, because when Russia gets you, they tend to get you. So, unlike a good neighbor, State Farm is no longer in California. They've stopped accepting homeowner insurance applications in the state of California. Officially stopped accepting any homeowner insurance application, citing the rising cost to rebuild after catastrophic and challenging reinsurance market. There's basically a market for insurance companies to get money back from insurance companies, the reinsurance market. And with wildflowers would be nice, wildfires all the time, and the constant threat of earthquakes and things like that, the reinsurance market is a bad place for California. State Farm is no longer citing this. They will continue to offer personal auto insurance. So there you go. Jacob State Farm can still show up and deal with your car, but not with your house. Actually, State Farm is just one of many insurance companies who are leaving the state for homeowners insurance. And the issue is not so much that Jake from State Farm can't hang out with you anymore. The issue is that there's less competition. So the ones that are there can charge you higher premiums because there's less of competition, less reason for other companies to do more for less money because they can do what they want to for whatever money you're willing to pay. You think the copyright issue with Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey was bad. This one gets even odder. Winnie the Pooh book tells kids to run, hide, fight if shooter comes. Now, this all comes from the copyright being released for Winnie the Pooh book. So anybody of any person can write a Winnie the Pooh book. I could write a Winnie the Pooh book tomorrow and have it out there and sell it and be legal to do that. Winnie the Pooh books are having their day, unfortunately. So Cindy Campos, the mother of Oak Cliff, Texas, the local outlet, that there's nothing inappropriate about the book itself that she put out, and she worried that school shootings are getting normalized, so she did something on her own. She put a book out starring Pooh, telling kids how to protect themselves in school shootings. Controversial, yes. Unfortunately, this is not a book that's getting banned by any school district. This is a book that is being lauded, if you will. So take that for whatever you want to take that as, if you want to. It's just the weirdness of what's going on. One Dallas elementary school teacher told The Guardian she found the book extremely disturbing. Yes. Very uncomfortable with the whole contents of the book. Yes. Guess what? Company putting the book out saying, we need this. The copyright for Winnie the Pooh has expired, so lots of very unusual things have happened with it. Probably have some t-shirts with Pooh peeing on people soon. I don't know. They may do that as well. But you see a lot more Winnie the Pooh in a lot more odder spaces coming soon. Oh, bother. And finally, a mystery, a conundrum, some sort of thing going on in the canals in Venice as a large patch of them have a fluorescent green tint, which is having residents scratching their heads. A mysterious patch of fluorescent green water appeared in Italy's famed Grand Canal in Venice on Sunday. Police are investigating the origin of the liquid, which is being tested by local environmental officials. Essentially, not poisonous, not dangerous, not like it's like mutant Ninja Turtles are coming out of it anytime soon. But it does have some issues with what's going on. It's just one small patch, one generous patch of land going into or water going through the city, which all of a sudden turned green. Hopefully, we get an actual explanation. Some people think it's just a natural recurring fungus that just sort of came through. Some people think it's a chemical agent that turns things green when it's looking for like a tracing agent that's to turn things green that just got spilled in a certain part. We hopefully will find out very soon. We'll also find out very soon whether we're talking about this tomorrow. Chances are we're not, because all the talk will probably be done through today. But we are going to put up for right now our teaser story for today. We talked about the NBA burner phone account thing, which happened, and so we had time to play this one up. This one happened late, and I didn't get a chance to post it in the nighttime, so we're going to see what we can do about chatting this one up, or probably more chatting up the actual finals. Coming up on the finals, we have, I probably should have the finals up there as well, but we have this story that's in our feeds right now, and the headline for the story reads like this. It's history making, actually. Miami Heat deny Celtics comeback bid to reach NBA Finals from Game 7 win. Now, history in this one, since we might not talk about this one coming up, is there for the Heat as well. The Heat become the second number 8 seed to make it to the NBA Finals, and the first to play in the playoff game era, where they had to play in, or play-in game era, where they play in to make that spot. Now the NBA, to make things more spicy, more jazzed up, essentially have the 7 and 8 seed open for a play-in tournament for 4 teams. So essentially, technically there's 10 teams in contention, and they play in to take those official seeds and then play the way in. So the Heat had to play an extra series of games just to get into the tournament, and got in only at the 8th seed and made it all the way to the finals. We'll see if they're able to match up with the Denver Nuggets starting on Wednesday. I think they kick off the finals there coming up. Also in the finals, set up for an NHL, which always coincide at the same time. So if you love your sports, hockey and basketball, you can have a hard time keeping your TV tuned to what you want to watch. Maybe the YouTube TV will give you the split screen on that one. We'll see how that goes. If you want to join in on the fun, just go to our website and find out the information how we work the feeds, or just go straight to the feeds. Facebook.com/ThisIsConversation Project and Twitter.com/TH_conversation. Engage in the stories, like them, love them, hate them, share them. The more engagement they get, the higher chance we get to talk about them. This one, probably not much chance because I think the talking will be done today, but we'll see if it gets responded to early enough for a longer engagement in the morn tomorrow. Let's talk about our sponsors, because we do that because we have to keep things going around here. And the sponsor that we're going to highlight right now is Fundrise. Fundrise is a way to extend your portfolio into housing, into real estate, and you don't have to do it by buying houses and buying real estate. You put money into a fund. Fundrise manages the fund. They buy properties, they manage properties, they rent properties, they sell properties. They do it on your behalf. You help them raise the money, and they do what they need to do. They tell you what's going on with very frequent updates, and you can go through and see how the properties are doing. And I can tell you that even though the market isn't grand, I haven't lost much money in this one. I didn't lose any money last year. I'm not losing any money quarter to quarter or year to date this year. When things get pulled out and fees and come out, then I'm not making grand money. But I've not lost any money on anything initially invested in Fundrise. That is a fact. Check it out for yourself. You can get extra funds, extra fees, or get your fees waived for a short period of time, and get extra shares into your funds for a short period of time if you check them out using our link at thisisaconversationproject.com/fundrise. This is a conversationproject.com/fundrise. Talking about ourselves very quickly, we're going to go to ourselves and talk about the Conversation Project. We are housed, homed, living at, online at thisisaconversationproject.com. What we do there is we present to you these things, and we do these things at a cost of time and energy and money to do this. But essentially, this is a ongoing extension of a project I've had. I just have been sort of about the news coverage these days, and not getting a way to get good news coverage and deep, detailed news coverage. And so this thing sort of turned into this thing. If you like what we're doing, enjoying what we're having, and like the updates we're giving you, plus the commentary and the perspective from a bit different source, let us know. engage in the stories. That's one thing. Email us at theconversationinbox@gmail.com or me, jclevelandpayne@gmail.com. And if you think we're doing stuff that's really, really cool, stop by our partnerships page and see if there's something that you can do to help us do more stuff. That's all on you. If you think we're offering up great content, then partnering up with us would be a great thing you can do for us. We thank you in advance for all you do, especially just showing up and engaging in the stories, because that gives us stuff to do. So thank you so much for all that, part of the family, and all the stuff. So the salesy stuff is done. The promotion stuff is done. It is time to have some fun and start off with fun for the birthdays for today. People marking birthdays on May the 30th include Ted McGinty, the show killer, 65 years old on the day today. Now, it's kind of an inside joke that Ted McGinty shows up on a sitcom, a TV show, and it's pretty much down in the ratings and about to be canceled. It's what happened with Happy Days, it's what happened with The Love Boat, and it was happened with Married with Children. Although he may have actually extended the life of Married with Children, believe it or not. Ted McGinty turning 65 on the day. Happy birthday, dude. Also, Idina Menzel. As a person who has butchered names poorly on air, I can't butcher it as badly as she was butchered by, John Travolta. But she's turning 52 years old on the day. Of course, Broadway singer, musician all over the place. And yes, she's Elsa. Yes, she's Elsa. 52 years old on the day. Javicia Leslie, butchered that one, 36 years old on the day, got her big break, if you will, playing the Batwoman on the CW. Had a big role breaking out star on God Friended Me on CBS before that. And when her show was canceled, got a chance to stay in the Arrowverse for a little bit longer as they transitioned her character by name to a new character into The Flash. We'll see what's next for her going forward, but happy birthday to her as well. Moving on to things that happened in history today. On this day, the 30th of May, 2023, today, let's go back to 1981, where the first compact disc was introduced. It's hard to believe that up until that time, we were all reeling in tapes. In fact, we still reeled in tapes for quite a while, because it still took a while for compact discs to come to form and for people to figure out how to burn to those discs. So mixed tapes were still a thing till the middle 80s. But the compact disc went through to revitalize music, digitize it, and then it turned into real digitization with things like MP3s and Napsters and things like that. In 1996, Britain's Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson were granted an uncontested divorce, ending their 10-year marriage. Fergie, or as she still was called, became a fairly famous figure in the world of just tabloid-ish stuff. Not sure what she actually does these days. Not sure what Prince Andrew actually does, other than get himself in trouble with that Epstein guy. But it's the divorce after 10 years is there. Also getting divorced, of course, the other royal couple, that was, of course, Charles and Diana. And we, of course, know how that's played out, unfortunately. And in 2006, the FBI said it had found no trace of missing labor leader Jimmy Hoffa after digging up a suburban Detroit horse farm. So the mystery as of 2006 and now continues. Where is Jimmy Hoffa? May 30th, the celebration for the day, National Creativity Day. What do you do on National Creativity Day? Do something creative. I'm doing something creative. I am talking to microphones and cameras trying to create newscasts. Maybe you're a sketch artist, sketch something today. Maybe you're a singer, sing something today, or write it in a song, do something else. Today is a day to celebrate your creativity. Do something awesome, and by awesome, I mean do something creative, and if it's creative, it's awesome. It's that simple. You have my permission, not that you necessarily need it, but go for it. Have a good time. And finally, one more thing you might have heard. What is comfort room? What is the comfort room in your house? Let's repeat that because we're going to actually chop that up. One more thing you might have heard. What's the comfort room in your house? If you said the bathroom, you're not alone, though you're in the minority. CountryLiving.com asked visitors, what room in your house is your comfort room? At the top was the bedroom, followed by the family room, and then the kitchen. Just 2% said the bathroom. I think folks in my house may disagree. And with that, we're done for today. Tuesday, May 30th edition, 2023 edition of Things you might have heard. Thank you so much for people who've popped in on the live feed. A lot of eyeballs seen popping in there. Thank you so much for stopping in, sticking a few minutes with us. Hopefully you come back again and watch us either in the long form video or listen to the podcast or just pop in live to get a couple news stories on your way into work. We are glad to have you as a part of the family. This thing does not get done without you because you literally make the decision on what we talk about. Go to our feeds on Facebook and Twitter. Facebook.com/This Is a Conversation Project and Twitter.com/TH_conversation, and let me know what news stories are the most conversational. We post news stories every 50 minutes, a new one, so read them, be engaged. As you check the rest of your Facebook and your Twitter, see what we have going on and see if there's something there in the feed that you want to be engaged in. Of course, we want you to be hydrated. Stay hydrated. Stay limerent on task for the grand things you're here to do, especially being creative on the day. And if something we've done today seems like it's pretty cool and worthy of a little help, go to our website, stop by our sponsors page, stop by our partnerships page, see if there's some ways you can help us keep things going. With that, we're going to wrap it up and prepare for a work day. Yesterday was a holiday and I took it off for the fullness. Did the program, but did the family time, watched a movie, did some grilling, did things like that. Today, back to work, back to the grind, back to getting things going, and back to more or less a normal news day. And hopefully less shootings, less tragedies, less wars. Let's see you, more of you, but less of the shootings, tragedies, wars tomorrow. Why don't we?